We are currently in Indianapolis at the Indianapolis International Airport. We are now flying with a new airline. We did get a new job. It is with Sun Country Airlines rather than Canadian North. I'm not going to say it has to do with the landing from the last flight, which I will put a link up in the corner if you really want to see how that went. But it just so happens to be that that was our last flight with that airline. So we are now with Sun Country. Now, I did record one. We are at a hub. Minneapolis is our hub. And we have flown from Minneapolis to Indianapolis. But unfortunately, I had some recording issues and the file ended up being corrupted. So I'm going to chalk that up to being a training flight or an orientation flight that just was not able to be recorded. But for the sake of showing you that I did do it and how much I have improved since that last flight, in the logbook, you will see that I did score a 100. Everything was done perfectly according to the score that I received. Whether or not it was actually done perfectly, well, I guess we'll never know because the file was lost. So we are going to be flying from Indianapolis back to our hub of Minneapolis. I wanted to show you the schedule. So these are the flights that I'm going to be doing in order. So Indianapolis to Minneapolis, then Minnie back over to Denver, Denver back to Minnie, Minnie to Chicago O'Hare, and then back. And then depending on how these go, Denver back, Denver back. I may not keep the hub setting for the schedule. I may do it so that it's more random, but for now I'm happy with the hub. So yeah, we are going to be Indianapolis to Minneapolis. Like I said, we are departing at 2300 UTC and 31,000 feet. First things first, before we even file our flight plan, let's get this plane going so that we can make sure that we have the clock, because I want to try and leave on time. That's the only thing that I'm not great at, is leaving on time. So while we do that, we're going to go through the PMDG checklist and procedures. So landing gear is down. We can see that. Speed brake is down, no lights. Flaps are up with no lights. And we're going straight to the battery. We do have ground power already. Power on. And then we need the standby power, auto, and covered. Wonderful. The DC voltmeter, we need to select battery over here. Yep. Battery, and then standby for AC, which it is. And then we can disengage the master caution. Electric hydraulic pumps should be off, which they are. Fuel pumps are all off. Interior lights as required. We don't need them just yet, but we will be needing them because we're landing at 45 UTC. So it will be a bit dark here in Minneapolis. The cabin utility and in-flight entertainment, those can go on. Ground power, connect, and on. We'll switch the voltmeter to ground power. Emergency lights armed and covered, which they are. Seatbelts auto on. External lights as needed, we don't need them. Cockpit lights, alarms, oxygen mask. We will do that part once we get our flight plan filed, which I am going to do right now. We're going to do a new flight. And we are Sky Country. And our flight number is 1981 Romeo. Going from Kind to KMSP. We are leaving at, this is UTC, so it's going to be 2300. Apply. As usual, we are in the PMDG 737-8, and we are the first class configuration, which is important because the seating changes. Our call sign, we're going to stick with 1981 Romeo. We do want this in pounds. We're going to go IFR. Scheduled block time is 1:55. We're going to try and depart runway 32. We will see how it goes. And let's generate that. In the meantime, if you like the video or you want to see more, please like and subscribe. All right. So we have that. It is 22:16, so we have 45 minutes that we have to get pushed out. So let me load this into our tablet here. Wonderful, and here is all of that. Now we are going to be using GSX for all of our ground services, as well as BeyondATC for our ATC and the Simbit Worlds PA expansion. I've grown to really like it. I didn't like it at first, but I'm glad I stuck with it. All right, cockpit lights test. Everything seems to be working. Awesome. And we can do that. I think that just dims everything. I think there's one in here somewhere. Maybe. Alright, that's good enough for the test. Fire test. That lights up. Awesome. And the squibs are over there. Those... Guess we should do this properly. Lights up, and then... Boom. Done. And oxygen masks are going to be next. Beautiful and beautiful. Oh, right, that does that. I always forget that that's there. All right, FMC set fuel and payload. Now, the plane should be empty. Actually, I think if we do this... ...156 passengers, 15,262 in fuel. ...156 and 78 in cargo. Wonderful. So we're going to do, I think, let's do catering. Whoops. I thought maybe I could keep that. And refueling. And that. Awesome. In the meantime, while we do... Okay. I'm not touching it. Alright. We need the trim air is on, which it is. Recirc fans. Impacts to auto. Got some air conditioner in here. Autopilots are off, which they are, and then these need to go to nav. And before I forget, I need to connect to BeyondATC. I'm not loading anything.
BeyondATC connected.
We'll see what they're doing. Okay, so they just punch it in. That's fine. Doesn't work as well as like watching it load up. No, maybe it is. Either way, no big deal. We are going to the FMC. Need to complete the init ref page. Okay, so it does do it gradually. It just shows it a little bit differently here. That's fine. We are at Kilo India, November Delta, and we are gate 60. I wrote it down. 36. Not in database. That is fine. So we have that. Then route and performance initialization. I don't know what that is. So if anybody knows, if you want to, tell me, that'd be swell. And we are going to KMSP. Yeah, I wasn't getting that pop-up for a while, but recently it seems like we've been getting it again. I just don't know if it's something I need to do or if it's just something that happens. Why don't we get our clearance while we wait? We need our... I'm curious if this has... God, I can't even think of the name. Frequencies. God, that was awful. I should probably take some time to study these and remember how to read these for the Lido. And maybe we'll go through it later. Alright, so that's SID, all that stuff. I know I can get it from... Okay, there's some charts. That's right, I could do a PDF too. Interesting. Approach procedures, SID, airport. Refueling is complete, which means that we could start boarding. But in the meantime, we're gonna go here. Airport info. This is what we're looking for. So, Indy clearance 12875. And actually, while we do that, should have gotten our catering, but let me... Who do we want? Yeah, we'll do the GSX choice. We'll do recatering, and we have 7 minutes, so we got a little bit of time. Let me make sure my BeyondATC is where it's supposed to be. Which it is. Alright. Indy clearance, Sun Country, 1981 Romeo, IFR, Minneapolis.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Indy clearance, cleared to Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. MERS 7 departure, boiler transition, then is filed. Maintain 5,000 feet. Departure frequency 1905. Squawk 642 tree.
Can I ask it to repeat? Yeah. Indy clearance, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Say again.
Negative. MERS 7 departure. Boiler transition. Then is filed. Maintain 5,000 feet. Departure frequency 1905 and squawk 642 tree.
Alright, well fortunately I can just look at the screen and figure out what I missed, which was the runway. So cleared through... Oh, Jesus. That was awful.
Negative. MERS 7 departure. Boiler transition.
Something just disconnected from my computer, so that's...
1,000 feet. Departure frequency 1905 and squawk 642 tree.
That's unsettling. I have things disconnecting from my computer. That's awesome. Mir 7 departure, boiler transition then is filed, maintain 5,000 feet, departure frequency 119.05, squawk 6423, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Negative. Departure frequency 1905.
1905, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, read back correct. Contact ground 121.9er when ready for push or start.
121.9er when ready, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Okay, so I had an external drive that apparently just decided to spaz out. It was constantly connecting and disconnecting. And of course I have like 7 drives connected to my computer, so I had to figure out which wire it was so I didn't accidentally screw up my recording. Alright. Do I have to do that? You guys usually do that. Oh, my clock's going. Alright, what do they want? Close rear entry forward. Doors. Oh, okay, so they do still close it. Alright. Mirrors. 7. Okay. So it's runway 32, which is that the runway that we have. We were planning, oh, we're at 3.6. We're supposed to be at 3.1. Uh-oh. Alright, that's fine. We'll do 3.6. We'll say it was company error. We were planning on the runway 32, so that works. And let me start boarding. And while we do that, we can do this. So 32 Mirrors 7 boiler transition. And the arrival, we are hoping for ILS 17. Oh. KLIR. The star. Gamma. And then route. Next. Juliet 89er. Then OBK. OBK. Alright, we'll activate that. And let's execute that. Performance initialization, so cost index 48. Reserves 46. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, I think it's 4.6. Zero fuel weight is 130.6. And cruising, I think we said 360. Then I think execute that. We started boarding. Let's get the APU going. Then we need fuel pump forward number 1. APU start. And before we turn on the packs, we need that to run for a minute. So we just have to get all of the takeoff stuff set. Awesome. That takes a while. Alright, our squawk is 6423, so we can get that at least. 6, 4, 2, 3. Alright, that is ready. Start a clock for 1 minute. And while that runs, we can do our performance tool. We're leaving runway 32. We would love to keep flaps 5. I've not finished doing this stuff. Okay, let's import from aircraft, import weather, 2998, ooh, very, very close. Perfect. All right, cruise wind, that's what I needed. We need top of climb, wind is 306 to 72. Now we can do the performance tool, which we have all that stuff. So select temp 30. We're going to be doing takeoff 2, standard climb. N1 is 89.6. If I do slash 89.6. Okay, maybe I just can't change that, which is fine. Takeoff. Runway wind is 340 at 19. The slope 0.07, so I'm going to round that to 0.1. And I think that is it. So we can start doing our speeds. 141, 141, 146. 1, and 6. Absolutely amazing. Apparently I messed that up, but that was definitely over a minute, so do APU gen, APU bleed, and then we can do this to APU gen. They can take the ground power unit away. Maintenance van, fuel truck, ground maintenance. Okay, ground power release. Okay, ATC clearance, we already got squawk set, altimeter set, so we can do all this stuff. So our initial clearance is 5,000 feet. It is going, I'll do that in a minute. I'm gonna go 146 plus 15, so that's going to be 161. And then we can look at the SID for that. All right. We are going to pin that. When the Mears departure. We'll read that in a minute. And then arrival was the Casper with the runway 17 approach. Pin that as well just so we can read it. Airport info. We'll pin that as well for instruction. Parking gates. And I think that is all we need. So when we leave, we are runway 32. And then we're Mears, and then we go to the boiler. We're gonna go left here, which is a direction of 313. Let's just set that as our heading. Transition altitude is 18,000. Simple enough. Departure, airport, anything else we need to read here? Reference? No? Okay. Amazing. So that is all set. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, FMC departure, route legs, takeoff. We've already done that. Initial heading, we've already done that. Head off, takeoff, runway set, elevator trim. 5.02. Oh, there we go. Passengers are good. Gas Mach speed done. Yaw damper on. Fuel pumps on. Do we have fuel in our center tank? We do not, so we don't need the center ones, but we will test the crossfeed valve. Amazing. And then window heat is going to be on. Anti-ice is required. We don't need it. Hydraulic pumps all on. Light altitude needs to be set, so we are at 36. And landing altitude. That is a great question. The airport is at 842, so we'll do 850. And that's auto. All looks awesome. I know we're gonna need these, so I'm just gonna turn it on now. Actually, we don't need the circuit breaker one. We'll deal with these lights as well. We landed here at the same time as we're landing there, so I know we're gonna need those lights, and it's just easier to do it now than wait until later. Landing altitude, flight directors on. LNAV, VNAV as required. Probably go LNAV right away. Actually, we'll probably do VNAV too. No, we can't because we have to get cleared. That's right. Auto brake. RTO. Radios, ground connections. So We can't take the chocks out yet, but we can at least get the comms done. So it's 1219er is going to be ground. And then our departure frequency is 119.05. All right, so that is all set. I think if I like do this, yay. I forget. I don't think it really matters all that much. I don't remember. We are actually ahead of schedule. I'm usually not. Now, obviously it depends on how fast we can board everybody. So I think once everybody is boarded, we are good to close all the doors. Ground connections are already removed, and then we'll set our parking brake, remove the chocks, all of that. So with that being said, I think, well, you know what? We can read some of this stuff now. Better read it now than later. So we are... This is the wrong airport. We are over here, and we are flying out of 32 over here. So we'll see what we get for taxi instructions. Oh, that's cool. But there was something on the arrival. So first off, Class B airspace. That looks terrifying. But we're IFR, so we can just... We just got to make sure we follow what ATC tells us to do. Which is fine. The arrival... Anything weird here? There's a lot of hold patterns. Approach. Oh, you know what? It was in... I think arrival references or... Oh, here we go. Construction. I mean, we're going to get routes and stuff like that anyway, so... while we're here, in terms of wind... Looking at the wind shear, do we have anything that's over 3? We do. At the top of climb, pretty much until we're about to land, we're going to have some turbulence. So I think we'll probably let everyone roam around the cabin until we approach the top of climb, and then we'll probably ask them to all sit down. But until then, I think we will hang out for now, and I will talk to you guys once everybody is loaded. Does this tell me if boarding is complete? Boarding complete. All right. I'm going to do prepare for pushback. We might be able to leave early. We may be able to push back a little bit early. Wouldn't that be something? So, because we are early, we're going to try and push back early as long as they approve it, which I would imagine they will. So, parking brake is set, chocks I suppose will be removed once they are done here. We're just being lifted up, that is all. I don't have one of those yet, so remove those chocks. So I think we should be good. Is it indie ground, I assume? Yeah. Indie ground, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, request push and start.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, indie ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face east.
Face east, alright. Which is that way. Face east, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. So we need to, our nose needs to be to the right, tail left. So nose right, tail left. Parking brakes released. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying, but that's fine. Okay, so packs are off, anti-collision light is on. Transponder alt off. Engine area clear, lower display is going to be engine, which it already is.
My name is Vera, and I'm your chief flight attendant.
And there's our PA announcement.
If you haven't already done so, please stow your
From
carry-on luggage
our
underneath
chief
the
flight
seat in
attendant,
front of you
Vera.
or in an overhead bin. Please take your seat and fasten your seatbelt. Also make sure your seat back and folding trays are in their full upright position. If you are seated next to an emergency exit, please carefully read the special instructions card located by your seat. If you do not wish to perform the functions described in the event of an emergency, please ask a flight attendant to reseat you. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Smoking is prohibited on the entire aircraft, including the lavatories. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the lavatory smoke detectors is prohibited by law.
We should be able to start our engine. We're going to go with number 2 today.
Please don't hesitate to ask one of our flight attendants. Thank you.
Now we are... it's because I did it wrong. I moved it the wrong way. Alright, start valve is open. We're getting some N2 here. Amazing. Switch that back to the menu because we don't really need that. Yep, I'm just waiting for... And there's 25. Plane taken off, valves are closed. And then once I hear the click, I will let them know we're good. Just wait. Yep, I'm getting there. And there we go. I can't wait until BeyondATC does GSX implementation. They took a vote for the next feature, and that was, I believe that was the one that was selected. So I'm really, really excited for their GSX implementation. Alright, so we're going to put that to continuous. We just started the left engine. So once that's 25, we will do the same procedure. And 25. Check those valves. Awesome. You're just going to drive right through to my engine. Seems smart. We're going to look for him for the pin while we watch our engine levels. And there's the pin. We'll wave goodbye, and here comes Spirit, it looks like. Coming down to get in our way. Alright. Set that to continuous. Gen engine switches need to go on, which they are. And this can go to Gen 1. APU can go off. APU bleed can go off. Gen bleeds can come on. Packs can come back on. Isolation valve auto, which it is. Probe heat can come on. Anti-ice as required, we don't need it. Flaps set, so we're going to 5. Keep an eye on that. Trim verify set, which was 5. We are at 5. Light controls, we can check that now. So, down, up, left, right, rudder, rudder, and just for fun, since we are nice and early, I'll have to learn the keyboard shortcuts for that to make that a little bit smoother. Alright, that all looks good. Recall, beautiful. And we are good to go. So, what I do need to do though is pull up the airport info so we can see the taxiways. Indy Ground, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, ready for taxi.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, runway 32 taxi via Hotel, Golf, Bravo.
Runway 32, taxi via Hotel, Golf, Bravo, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Alright. So we are Hotel, which is this middle one here, Golf, which is up here, which is weird, but that's fine. So I think we're gonna do November here, and then Bravo is over here. So we're gonna go, I think, up, right, and then to here. So we're actually gonna go Hotel November 3. Because, for whatever reason, these do not match. Which is really funky. But it is what it is, so. Taxi lights on. Runway turn-off lights as required. We don't need them. And TCAS, we're gonna do a test. Once. Alright, perfect. So now I am comfortable doing our taxi. Takeoff configuration check. Why did we get an alert? Why, oh why? What is that alert we're getting? Takeoff config? Oh, because our parking brakes are set. Okay, there we go. Alright. Going to try and follow this. Let's see if I can successfully taxi to the gate here without destroying anything. And there goes Spirit.
We now request your full attention as the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft.
I believe this is my taxiway right here.
When the seatbelt sign illuminates, you must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the metal fittings one into the other and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight, as we may experience turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft.
Looks like my
Please take a few
plane's like
moments now to
tilted.
locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor level
That's right, we gotta try and go 10 on the apron.
Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow.
We're gonna take a left here and then our
Door
first
is
right.
equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. Oxygen and air pressure are always being monitored. In the unlikely event of a decompression, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you. To start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you.
I wish my brakes on this HOTUS were a little bit more, not so aggressive.
Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your own mask first, and then assist the other person. Keep your mask on until a crew member advises you to remove it. In the event of an emergency, please assume the bracing position. If you hear, brace, 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 lean forward with your hands on top of your head and your elbows against your thighs. Ensure your feet are flat on the floor.
So what's nice is we are not crossing any runways, and we were not given any hold short instructions.
When instructed to do so, open the
So we can
plastic
just
pouch
go
and
right
remove
to
the vest.
our
Slip it
runway.
over your head. Pass the straps around your waist and adjust at the front.
That was a
Replace
quick
the vest.
turn.
Pull firmly on the red cord, only when leaving the aircraft. If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpieces. Use the whistle and light to attract attention. Also, your seat bottom cushion can be used as a flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms
Was
into
this
the
a
strap,
shadow, or
and hold the
am I about
cushion
to
your chest.
lunge?
You will find this
Not lunge.
and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket in front of you. We strongly suggest you read it before takeoff. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate
bumpy.
to ask one of our crew members. We wish you all an enjoyable flight.
This is bumpy. Why is this so bumpy? I was apparently also really off center. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Trying to figure out my camera here. I don't have any flats. Oh. We have some broken taxiway. That's why. I was worried that maybe I damaged the plane or something last time. Which is definitely possible. If you saw that other landing, I'm not exactly easy on the landings. Alright, so we are going to turn here. According to this, is not the runway I want, but or taxiway I want, but golf does not make sense with where I'm going. I bet you there was something in the information about construction on Taxiway Hotel. That would make sense. Oh, it's probably a hold short line. Completely ignored it. I'll be getting a call from an FAA rep about that. All right, how is this working? I'm going this way.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Indy Tower 120.9er. Have a good afternoon.
120.9er, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. We'll contact them.
Negative. Tower on 120.9er.
120.9er, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Alright. Believe this.
Negative. Tower on 120.9er.
That's what I'm saying. Is it not? Of my.
Over to Tower 120.9er, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Have my co-pilot do it. Alright, we'll come here. Set our parking brake, and then 120.9er. And then let's set up the rest. So parking brake is set, auto throttle is on. Center fuel pumps, don't need them. Anti-ice, don't need them. Cabin lights, don't need them. Flight instruments, check. Engine instruments, check. We already did that. Takeoff data, V1, VR. So 141, we rotate. 146 is our V2, and then we have an IAS of 161. Brain tap, check. Nav equipment, check. Okay. Indy Tower, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, runway 32, ready for departure.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Indy Tower. Wind 345 at 19er. Gust 28. Runway 32. Cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 32, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Alright. Parking brake is off. Landing lights on. Runway turn-off lights on. Taxi lights. Oh, we gotta line up and then we'll...
Flight attendant, prepare for takeoff.
So taxi lights are off. Position lights are strobe and steady. While we slowly do this, transponder is going to be TARA. And we need TF. It's on. I'm going to do this to 80 to start. Okay. Clock is on. And let's get going. So we're gonna go 40. Check, do that. Okay.
Airspeed's alive.
Checked.
80 knots.
Check. Rotate. Oof. Kind of came to the side.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Indianapolis departure.
Departure Sun Country 1981 Romeo. I don't know why we're slowing down so much. I'll do LNAV, that should speed us up. Departure. Indy departure, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, 4,000 feet. Alright.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Indianapolis departure. Good afternoon. Radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 180.
Flight level 180, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Why are we not... The autopilot kills me sometimes. Get to 250. Clear to 180. I'm very clearly doing something wrong, so if anybody has any tips on that, because I cannot figure out the speed for whatever reason. And then we should be direct mirrors. I don't know why we're going there. Let's do that. And we should be turning towards that heading. Oops. No, no, no. All right. After takeoff, positive rate of climb, gear up. We already did that. Auto brake off. Engine start levers off. Flaps on schedule. Autopilot on. LNAV, VNAV is required. Runway turn off lights off. Cabin lights is required. We just passed 10,000, so I can do that. And at this point, let's just do vertical navigation, or VNAV rather. Why are we not going to mirrors? I don't know why we didn't turn that way. Indianapolis departure, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, request direct to Saks.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Saks is your current waypoint.
Okay.
Continue direct Saks.
That's weird that it's not following it. Flight director's on, auto throttle's on.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Indianapolis Center 119.55. Have a good afternoon.
119.55 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. 119.55. I don't know why my autopilot's not working. I'm gonna have to manually fly this, I think. Indianapolis Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, 17,000 feet.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Indianapolis Center. Good afternoon. Climb maintain flight level 360.
Flight level 360, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Chicago Center 123.85. See you.
123.85 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Oh, there's our 18,000, so let's get to standard. Uh, 123.85. Chicago Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 200. I really don't.
Country 1981 Romeo, Chicago Center, Roger.
Really don't know why it's not getting the route here. What did I miss? Also, we gotta be climbing faster than that. Speed is so slow too. So we should be expecting a turn right here. And we did not. What the hell? Oh, I never turned autopilot on. I missed one button. That... Oh my god. I can't believe I did that. That entire time I just wasn't turning the autopilot on. Oh, that's annoying. That is so annoying. Oh, Christ. And this, my friends, is why I have to have the disclaimer that I am not a pilot. That was so stupid. Well, once our autopilot gets us back on track here, I'm sure. Yeah, 3,000 is probably too much. Oh no, 3,000 might be good. No, we're going to prioritize speed. I don't really care about that. I want to get to where we need to be.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Chicago Center 125.375.
125375 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Chicago Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 250.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Chicago Center.
Okay, so we're back on track. Autopilot is on. I think now is a good time to kind of start skipping through some of this route. So I think our next waypoint's coming up in 15 nautical miles, and top of climb shouldn't be too far after, so I will see you guys when we get there. Okay, we are coming up on our next waypoint. Got a little sunshine there. I can remember where this is. Oh, there we go. Our waypoint here is Boiler. And everything is going swimmingly, especially now that I've figured out the autopilot situation. We did just pass flight level 300, so I did change our bank limiter. We don't want to be banking too much. And yeah, our next waypoint looks like it is going to be FedEx in another 15 nautical miles, so I will check in with you at that point unless anything other interesting comes up. Okay, as we come to our top of climb, we start to approach our top of climb. What I noticed is that what I noticed is our top of climb is supposed to be after Hender. However, looking through our route and our legs, we have a flight restriction right before Hender. We have to be above flight level 290, which actually we should be. So now that I'm saying it out loud, that actually won't affect us whatsoever. So never mind on that, but we are coming up on our top of climb here, and then we go straight to, it looks like Cadiz, over to OBK, which I don't even know how to say that, Northbrook. So once we leave Cadiz, we go to Northbrook. That's such a short one, I'm probably not going to do a check-in on that, but we are officially at our top of climb. Our flight attendant has already made their announcements, so I am going to continue flying, continue monitoring, and I will see you guys over at, what'd I say, Northbrook. See you guys then. So as I'm coming up on this waypoint, Northbrook is coming up there just over 30 nautical miles away, but I just wanted to point out I never noticed the traffic on here. I mean, I've noticed it before, but it's just the live traffic doesn't seem to pull onto this, or at least it wasn't. It did have a recent update, so seeing the traffic up here is actually really cool. 127.6 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. There are so many radio handoffs in this area. Chicago Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 360. But alas, no big deal.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Chicago Center. Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Chicago Center 120.35.
120.35, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. So I've noticed that when I had updated BeyondATC, there were some issues where it it wasn't loading because of the AI traffic, so I shut it off and it was loading just fine. But I have all of this AI traffic and it's not doing anything, and I don't know. So I just tried turning it on. We'll see if it changes anything, but... Oh, well... It'll just freeze BeyondATC. So that was evidently a bad idea to do that. So we have no ATC right now. That's a problem. So I'm going to try and relaunch it, and hopefully we can get it fixed. I just have to turn off AI. You have the latest version, yep, and it kind of sucks. So options, traffic on, I'll shut off. Should be using FSLTL. And not its own. So hopefully it connects back just fine. Fingers crossed.
BeyondATC.
Kind of need it for what we're doing. Does not look promising. So here is a outdoor view of the plane while we come up on our next waypoint in about 10 miles.
Chicago Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 360.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, reset transponder. Squawk tree 532.
Squawk 3532, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Okay, so we did reset BeyondATC. It seems to have worked, so we cannot have it do traffic right now.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Chicago Center, radar contact.
Awesome. So, good to know. That is a bug. I will probably be reaching out to them. I mean, not that I have special privileges, but I'm on their Discord, so I figured I'll let them know that there's that bug. Which sucks because that means that it's not pulling all the FSLTL stuff, which is all the live traffic. So, whatever, I guess. In the meantime, we are banking really far. But apparently when you relaunch it, it gives you a new transponder code, which is kind of cool. Oh, I don't know if it's cool. It's something. So anyway, we just passed Northbrook. We're on our way to Kama. So, I mean, we have, what, 53 miles until then? So plenty of time. I will see you guys on the other side. Okay, we just got a traffic alert. They are...
Country 1981 Romeo, Chicago Center, expect killer tree, runway tree 5.
Expect killer tree, runway 35, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. I have to look and see if we can find that aircraft that we just...
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, verify instruction.
That was close. insane. So we got a traffic alert. That was something. What was it? Honestly, go for it, co-pilot.
Expect killer tree. Runway 35, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
So is the killer tree one the one that we had? Yep. Killer tree, runway 35. I don't think that was the runway we wanted. No, we wanted 17, but we'll take 35, that's fine. So, we are going to make some adjustments. We're not close to our top of descent here. Very close to overspeeding, though. We should slow that puppy down. Alright, so we just won't do VNAV, that's fine. Alright, so we're coming up on Camo. We're going to take a left turn here in a moment, but we do need to change our approach because we are no longer 1-7. We are 3-5. Los Zulu. Using the Killer 3. Uh-oh. Yep, okay. Let's get back on track there.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Chicago Center 135.55.
135.55, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. So many tower handoffs in this route. Drives me nuts. That is way more than a 10 bank of 10. Jesus Christ. Chicago Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 360. Alright, so we changed the route in here. So we do need to change our charts.
1981 Romeo, Chicago Center.
So we're gonna go to Pinstar. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of the approach. Another traffic alert. Oh god, right below us too. Think they were right below us? I mean, I can't go up, so hopefully they can go down. So why don't we go up? We'll go back to where we were. God, we are... This is wild that we are getting so much traffic. I'm wondering if we should start to descend. Not quite. That was not exactly an expedited move on my part, but I've never had traffic come up during these flights, so. Okay, come on, what are we doing? I wanted to look at that chart. Actually, we're not quite at the prep stage, so I'm not going to read it too much right now.
1981 Romeo. Contact Chicago Center 133.3. See you.
133.3, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Oh, you know what? I was supposed to be at 3-1. I'm in an odd. Or even. Chicago Center, Sun Country, 1981 Romeo, flight level 360. So, originally they wanted me at flight level 310. I'm at 360. That is an even number. I was supposed to be on an odd number. I think that's why I'm getting traffic alerts. So, I'm going to try and see if I can get down to 35. Chicago Center, Sun Country, 1981 Romeo, request altitude change, flight level 350. See if I can get us to
Sun
drop.
Country 1981 Romeo, unable your flight is to the northwest and flight level 350 is an odd number flight level. Please pick an even altitude.
That's fine, but you keep almost having me crash. So, fuck off. Let's try flight level 300, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo,
That's
unable
fine.
flight level 300 at this time.
That's fine. Just stop having me come so close to people. That would be nice. Alright. And then we are ILS 35. Ugh. Traffic's what? 1,000 feet? All right, we need to figure out which one are we gonna do. To do Cat 2 and 3. Oh, this is way more complicated than I was expecting, but we'll go with this one. And then we can review it as we get closer. In the meantime, here's where we are. So we've got a hike left still. Whoops, zoomed in too far. Alright. So unless anything weird happens, I'm probably going to skip the next couple of waypoints, because we have quite a bit to go. Always good when things start freezing up on you too. Okay. So I figured out what that was. Apparently my sim brief on the EFB was freezing up like no tomorrow. But once I got that, we're good. I did end up closing the FS LTL because it actually was also contributing to freezing, or the lagginess, so. But that's fine. ATC wasn't really using it anyway, so no big deal there. We're coming up on a handful of waypoints here, but as I said, I'm probably going to breeze through a couple of them, at least until we start getting towards Hender in the next 31 miles, and that's when we're going to start our top of descent, is shortly after that. So, that being said, I will see you on the other side unless anything weird comes up until then. Alright, we did not have to wait as long as I thought because our top of descent is within the 80-mile ring, and that is when I like to do some top of descent preparations. These preparations are going to be brought to you by the Ryanair Flows and Procedures, courtesy of another YouTuber. Oh god, I can't remember his name. I said it in another video. I should have been more prepared with that. So, weather. We need to check the weather. Here it is. Wind is 330 at 10 knots. Can see 10 miles. It's clear. And altimeter is 3017. So let's set that altimeter before we forget. 3017. All right. Arrival brief. Consider threats. My landing skills. And also it's going to be a little bit darker by the time we get there. So we're going to the FMC. We're going to go to descent. Switch this to 250. Execute. Forecast. We're going to load.
1981 Romeo. Contact Chicago Center 125.05. Have a good afternoon.
12505 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. There we go. Chicago Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 360. All right. So we have our forecast. Let's load that up. And we'll hit execute.
1981 Romeo, Chicago Center.
All right. Execute that. Then we need to go to fix, and we're going to get all of this ready. So we are runway 35 as we discussed. I want a ring at 5 nautical miles, so then we need to be flaps 15 and gear down. I need one at 10 nautical miles, which means we need to be flaps 5. And then our outer ring should be our rough top of descent, which should be a little bit after. So we're at flight level 360. According to Ryanair, it's divided by 1,000, so it'd be 36 times 3, which would be 108. We're gonna do 108. Hopefully my math was right, and that's actually a little early. So that's fine. All right, route. We don't really have anything weird here. Legs, we already know all of that stuff.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Minneapolis Center 124.4.
124.4 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. What were they? Minneapolis what? Center. Minneapolis Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 360.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Minneapolis Center, Roger.
Alright, 11095 is going to be our ILS frequency. Course, set ILS course. There's so much going on here. But it's going to be 350. And because we're so high, I'm going to request descent now. Minneapolis Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, ready for descent. And then we'll finish those.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Descend via Killer Tree arrival. Minneapolis St. Paul landing runway 35. Altimeter 3017.
I'm just going to have her read that back, and I'm also going to have her start auto-tuning.
Minneapolis St. Paul landing runway 35, altimeter 3017, Sun Country 1981.
Okay, well in that
Romeo.
case, I need airport elevation. We've already done minimums. We need. Let me get that. So 10. Oh Jesus. 1034. So much scrolling, and then I gotta set up the rest of the ILS piece. All right. $10.34. And honestly, let's just start going to 290. Whoops. Let's just start our descent now. We need to be at or above that, so we'll just start that now, which I think I already said 5 times. Alright, do I have a runway elevation? Oops, pinned. Alright, we are runway 35, which we were not totally prepared for. 833. And I need the length. Would be under performance. 79.89. Alright. And that part is done. Hit our top of descent, so we are now descending, which is fantastic. Set our course, landing altitude minimums. Need to do our fuel piece. So that is 8.1 minus the 6.8. That's going to be what, 1.3? So here, take 1.3 off of that.
1981 Romeo, contact Minneapolis Center 128.6.
128.6. Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Oh, right, she's doing it for me. Minneapolis Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 340. Right.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Minneapolis Center, copy.
We're gonna do reversers, all auto brakes. Let's go 3. VREF add 5, import weather. We have all of that. Calculate. That should be enough. Alright, VREF is 150, F flaps 30. So we're gonna do this. But 150. The approach. Auto brake is, we said 3. Flaps will be 30. With reversers, and I think that is all we will need there. We'll switch that down to 40. All right. Back to the PMDG checklist. ADS airport information, already got it. Altimeter, got it. Radios, got it. MCP altitude, been working on that. FMC, all of that stuff, been working on that. Descent, de-ice, as required, don't need it. Landing altitude, check. Recall, check, just did that. Radio minimums, auto brake is required. Yeah, I think we're in good position, in a good position. Let me... Oh, I never turned the seatbelts back on. We didn't hit a lot of turbulence, so that's a plus. Okay. So while we descend through this, let's go over the actual procedures here. So we are flying through Kama, Robbie, Berry, Cable. Oh, we have not been following any of this. So Zing is the one we've already passed. Enders, so we just got to be at 240 rather. It's a lot of staying above things. We're definitely passing Hender where we need to, so let's try and get down to 140.
Romeo, contact Minneapolis Center 125.3.
125.3, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Let's try and get to 14,000. What wonder if I can just request a hold, because we're going to come in way too high. Indianapolis Center, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 305. And we got to be at 280 knots.
1981 Romeo, Minneapolis Center.
Approach change altitude. Yeah, okay. Can't do any of that. That's fine. What we're going to do is let's see if we can get... Let's see if we can kind of drop a little bit quicker. Let's see if we can read anything here. Okay, so we got to get down to 280. This is a mess. Which one are we? After Afton, we go Johnsy. Okay, so we're going down here to Greek. And then the approach will be a little bit easier to read. So we're going to intercept at 3,000 is our goal. This is such a mess. Vector to Rozzy. Laura. Okay. So we're expecting to get vectored anyway. So at Rozzy we're 4,000, drop down to 3,000 by Laura, and then we should intercept the glide slope at that point. Go around is straight to 1,600 and then left to 3,000 at 240. I'm going to keep that up. And then we're just going to try and keep an eye on this stuff. We should be at 280 by the time we hit here, and we're obviously not going to be. Let's see if we can't make that happen using the auto throttle. Killer 280, 12,000. Huggy is 10,000. Afton is 10,000. At 250, I can see that. John Z is above 9. Greek is at 8 for 230, and that goes to Dolly. So everything in our plan here is the way it's supposed to be. So we just got to try and follow that to the best of our abilities. Easier said than done. But we will figure it out. No big deal at all. Don't mean to not be talkative, but I gotta try and make sure that I can figure this out. All right, so I want to make sure that, because we're gonna get vectored. are we on this now? All right, still coming in a bit high. Important thing is we got to be at 8,000 by Greek. So that's kind of the big thing. 8,000 by Greek is what we are shooting for. Feel like we're not descending fast enough, but you know what? It is what it is. This is the route we were given. Should hopefully work out. Do we have to be at 280 or can I go down to 250 now? Maintain 280 until slowed by the star. Whoops. Okay, well, that means I gotta go back to 280. Unfortunately. So I gotta be 250 by Afton. So once I hit that green decel there. Love to be able to slow down a little bit faster, or descend a little bit faster.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, contact Minneapolis approach 118.725.
118725 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. The 725 did they say? Yes. Oh, right, they changed it for me. Minneapolis approach, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, flight level 220. Way too high. They're gonna say it, they're gonna be like, you're way too high.
1981 Romeo, Minneapolis approach, altimeter 3017, expect the visual approach runway 35.
Expect the visual runway 35, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. I need to decelerate a little bit faster. Alright, we want 10,000. Zip. Can I go a little bit quicker here without screwing everything up? Really would like to decrease on a better pace here. I think once we get past crisp, I will work on slowing down a bit more. I had to let the cats out. All right, so we're at 18,000, so I'm going to switch over to the local altimeter. think we're on a better track. Ideally, we want to be at or above 10,000 by Afton. I don't think we're going to get the 10,000, but hopefully. Once we do hit that green mark, though, we do have to slow down to 250, which that's going to be rough. Only because it loses our, well, I guess maybe we'll be able to slow down a little bit quicker. All right, going down to 250. So that's when we'll hit 10, which is maybe a little bit too far after John Z. If we can't slow down by the time we get there. Get to that 250 mark and then see if we can't get down to the 9. We need to be 8 by Greek in 230. I don't think we're going to be ready. Wait, are we going to get vectored out and past this? No. Oh, maybe. I don't think so. Honestly, let's just get this to 8 so we can see when we're gonna hit it. There's Greek. And we are gonna get vectored from there, aren't we? We gotta swing around, it looks like. We need to be at 8,000, which it looks like we might actually be able to pull off here. $30.
All aircraft be advised, information Juliet now current. Altimeter 3018.
All right. We might actually pull this off. Okay, it was the Killer 3 arrival.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and
Oh, we've already
are in
started.
their full upright position. Make sure your seatbelt is securely fastened and all carry-on luggage is stowed underneath the seat in front of you or in the overhead bins. Thank you.
All right, so we need to be at 8,000 for Greek, Dolly, and then we should be getting vectored, I believe. I honestly didn't think we were going to pull off getting down to 8,000 and to speed by Greek. All right, so while we wait, flaps limits. You can get to 5 at 250. So we'll be more than fine there because we're under that. 10 at 210, which we should be fine by then. So when we get to the inner ring, we need to be going 200 or less. Then 190, 175. Never going to remember that, but... All right. Now I think we're just going to be waiting for vectors. Yeah, we should just be vectored at this point.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Request direct to fix.
Oh, wait, we're not at Dolly yet.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Roger. Say fix name. Sun Country 19...
Request direct to delete.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Roger. Say fix name. Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Doli is your current waypoint. Continue direct Doli.
Okay, I see. So 301 vector. Then we will get spun around. We'll put this on the 301. I guess we'll just maintain 8,000.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Leave Doli heading 140. Expect radar vectors for visual approach runway 35.
Leave Doli heading 140. Expect vectors. Sun Country 1981 Romeo. All right, so there we go. That answers that. I always wonder because sometimes I don't always get it.
1981 Romeo. Turn left. Heading
There we go.
150. Vectors for the approach.
Left heading 150, vectors for the approach, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. I don't know if I need to say the vectors for approach piece. So. There should be something I can do with this one. There we go. So that's that, and then we would go 240 if we miss. So again, once we get to the outer ring, flaps 5. And then once we get to the inner ring, flaps 15, gear down, which we should be at 200 or lower, and then ideally 175.
1981 Romeo, turn left, heading 070.
Left heading 070, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Alright, I'm gonna try descending to 6,000. Just based off of this, because we want to be 4,000 or above by Rosie.
Country 1981 Romeo, turn right.
Oh, there we go.
Heading 120, descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Altimeter 3018.
Oops, went too quick. Turn right, heading 120, descend and maintain 5,000. Altimeter 3018, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. I think I will go flaps 5 because I'm already kind of there. Oh, and I can disengage the speed brake. Totally forgot I had that. Need to be 10,000 or 5,000 a minute ago. Should have been there very quickly. $190 is fine for speed, I think, to start. $200 gets us our flaps 15. Alright, so we should be the speed that we can get to flaps 30 just fine. There's our 5,000 marker.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, turn left, heading 050, intercept the 35 localizer, descend and maintain 3,300 feet.
Left heading 050, descend, maintain 3,300 feet, intercept 35 localizers, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Okay.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, airport is at your 10 o'clock 11 miles. Report the field in sight.
We'll report Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Oh yeah. Field in sight, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Sun
Cleared for the visual, runway 35 Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Contact Minneapolis Tower 126.7. Have a good afternoon.
126.7 Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Negative. Tower on 126.7.
126.7 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Okay. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What are we doing here? What is my plane doing? I'm so confused. All right. Need to get to the glide slope.
2500.
Always forget what that sound is. God damn, that is annoying. Minneapolis Tower, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, 3,000 feet. Gotta do a missed approach.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Minneapolis Tower, wind 350 at 5. Runway 35 clear to land.
Nope. Clear to land, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. And then we gotta go around.
No. Sun Country 1981
That's what I
Romeo,
said.
clear to land runway 35.
That's what I said. Fuck off. Alright.
Runway 35 cleared to land. Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Sun Country 1981 Romeo, on the go.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, go around. Fly runway heading, maintain 5,000.
Cabin crew, seats for landing.
On the go. Fly runway heading, maintain 5,000, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Oh, I hate that buzzing.
Sun Country
I don't know what that
1981
buzzing
Romeo.
is.
Contact Minneapolis, approach 118.725.
One 118.725 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Minneapolis approach, Sun Country 1981 Romeo, 3,000 feet.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, welcome back.
Yeah.
Continue.
Continue, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. How did I mess up that approach so bad? I honestly don't know what my plane did. I tried to do approach mode. Did not work. I'm sure I missed a button. but it did not work, and that's kind of a bummer. But I'm sure it was on me. That's fine. Valid entry, yeah, I know. And then I tried to fix it, and I just couldn't. There was no way I was gonna just blow it again.
1981 Romeo, turn left, heading 275.
Left heading 275 Sun Country, 1981 Romeo. Oh, sure. Yeah, that's what I said to do. That buzzing was so annoying, though. I wish I knew what it was. Alright, there's our 5,000.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, turn left, heading 175. Expect further clearance in about 21 miles.
Left 175 Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Was it this? 1109 or 5. No, that was that. And actually, we're going slow enough. I could go to 15. Could even go to 25 and then 30. Oh no, we gotta go all the way around. Maybe not. I'm gonna get dinged for my taxi lights coming on too.
Turn left, heading 100.
Left heading 100, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Alright, so there is my line. I want to be on that and at 3,000. And I should be able to intercept the localizer at Laura. Should.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, turn left, heading 020, descend and maintain 4,000.
020, descend, maintain 4,000, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, airport is at your 10 o'clock 17 miles. Report the field in sight.
I lost it. Field in sight, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, cleared visual approach runway 35.
Cleared visual runway 35, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Okay, so I should be able to go up probably 2 sets of flaps here. I just go down to 175. Nope. Go to 180. Obviously you didn't like that. Okay, yep. God, I hate that noise. Hate that noise so much. Alright, we're using reserve fuel. That's not great. All right. Seems like we should have.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, contact Minneapolis Tower 126.7.
126.7, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Yep, that's fine. Should have... Gotta be at 3,000 for this. Slow down to 170. Love to be on approach mode right now. Honestly, fuck it. I'm doing this myself. Go gear down. Would have been at 3,000 already. That's fine. Get to this glide slope. Speed brake armed. And landing lights were never on. Okay, we are getting to the glide slope. Indianapolis Tower, Sun Country 1981 Romeo on final.
1,000.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, Minneapolis Tower, wind 350 at 5, runway 35 cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 35, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. We're a bit low. That's all right. There we go, fix that. Let's kill the engine power. Now we're a bit high.
Approaching minimums.
Continuing. Oh, oh.
Sync rate. Minimums.
Okay.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Airspeed full. Airspeed full.
That wasn't a terrible landing. It came down a bit fast, but that wasn't a terrible landing.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, exit right at Yankee.
Ladies and gentlemen, for your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. This will indicate that we have parked at the gate and that it is safe
There
for
we
you
go.
to move
Sun
about.
Country 1981 Romeo,
At this
exit right at
time, you may
Yankee.
use your cellular phones if you wish. Please check around your seat for any personal belongings you may have brought on board with you, and please use caution
Exit at
when
Yankee,
opening the
Sun Country
overhead
1981
bins.
Romeo.
Heavy articles may have shifted around during the flight.
I definitely didn't, but that's
If you
fine.
require deplaning assistance, please remain in your
All right.
seat until all other passengers have deplaned.
After landing
One of our crew
checklist,
members will then be pleased to assist you.
transponder
On behalf of
all
myself,
off.
Vera, and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip.
TFC.
And we are looking forward to seeing you on board again soon.
Flaps.
Have a nice day.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Speed brake down. Landing lights off. Taxi lights on, which I will do in a moment. Strobe lights are steady. Cabin light APU start. Probe heat off. Our switches off. Light directors off and engine. Alright. Gotta get to the other side of this.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, contact ground 127.902, see you.
127.9 or 2, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. We'll figure out where we're gonna park.
Negative, ground on 127.902.
Honestly, co-pilot can just talk to them because he annoys me. He keeps rejecting me, and I'm like,
127.902, Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Have a good afternoon.
no, we're not quite at.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo. Request taxi to assigned gate.
We'll see where we end up.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, gate 189er taxi via Kilo 6, Kilo, Sierra. Hold short runway 4.
Gate 189er via Kilo 6, Kilo, Sierra. Hold short runway 4, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
That's not even on here. But that's fine, because what we can do is GSX, gate, gotta find 189. Of course, it's gonna be all the way at the end. Button activate. It's gonna be like way over there or something. So we'll request follow me service. Parking brake is off, so we can continue our checklist. So runway turn-off lights can go off. We've got a minute, so that's fine. Do this, that. Oh, there's our marshaller. Am I supposed to go that way? Oh, 13 seconds. It was not our guy. Okay, we are going that way. Cool. Wild. All right, so what are we doing? Going that way now. Okay. I don't think this marshaller knows what he's doing. Really don't want to be in the grass. We're running real low on fuel. So I just gotta turn the taxi lights off when we get to... Christ. When we get to the gate. Pretty sure we were supposed to wait here.
Sun Country 1981 Romeo, cross runway 4 at Sierra. Continue taxi via Sierra, Delta.
Cross runway 4 at Sierra. Continue taxi via Sierra, Delta, Sun Country 1981 Romeo.
Thank God for the co-pilot in BeyondATC. Nope, okay. We could turn the taxi lights off. Telling you it's too touchy. Well, it's basically a toggle. It's either full brakes or no brakes. Yeah, I see you. Please remember to submit your flight. I will. But again, dance like the last one did. No? Okay. Yeah, I figured. Was a quite poor. Alright. So we are parked. Parking brake is set. Fuel cutoff. Levers are off. And disengage the auto master warning. Anti-collision lights are off. We'll do that to help me see. Wheel chocks are set. Let's request that ground power. And then passengers can do that. Yaw dampers off. Fuel pumps are all off. Go for the left aft. Ground power, connect that. Means that this can go ground power here. Electric hydraulic pumps are off. Isolation valve is open. Transponder. 2000 standby, but let's get everybody off. Master warning off, and then we are going to be doing a full shutdown between these two flights. We're going to shut those off. Window heat can be shut off as well. Leads, we're going to turn those off. I know that the passengers are going to want AC, but we also are going to want to get out of here. So that'll be good for now. Let's also shut off all of these lights. Because we're not going to need them. So while those passengers deboard, let's look at our flight. We'll submit it. It was a rough flight, we'll admit here. Did not go very well, but I didn't blow any tires. That's a win in my book. It was still a rough landing, but definitely could have been worse. This is a preview of our next one, which is St. Paul to Denver. But let's look at our logbook. I also want to record what terminal I'm at for the next flight. All right, we scored an 85 there. Now I don't believe you're going to see the pop-up here, but I failed max pitch angle plus minus 20 degrees. I had a feeling on that. Landing light on below 10,000. I forgot to turn on my landing lights. We did have a max speed of 200 knots on the approach, and I definitely went over that, and landing rate was way too fast. So that makes sense. That's pretty much what I expected. Is what it is though. So I'm gonna get all these passengers off of here. I'm gonna save this, and I'm going to possibly work on my landings if I get a chance between now and the next flight. But until then, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. I do plan on doing this for quite a bit. Leave any comments for any advice you might have for me to improve. Things like turning my autopilot on when I first start, or, you know, practicing my landings. So, but until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next week.